Hello again. Welcome to Summit VB Fan. I'm your host, Jeremy Cleveland, and we continue our countdown to first serve. I'm joined today by the all time wins leader in the Summit League, head coach Leanne Williamson at South Dakota. How does it feel to be called the all time wins leader, coach?
Well, until you had said that, you kind of forget about it. Very much in the present, very much enjoying, obviously, this preseason. But obviously, I know it's an incredible, thing to have accomplished, and just so lucky to have been surrounded by so many great coaches and players along the way that obviously made that possible.
Yeah, the consistency you guys have had, 10 wins. How many straight years in the Summit League? That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we've again fortunate. Building and sustaining are two different things. Both of them are very difficult, but I've been very impressed with this group and this program for just continuing to find ways to be in the running. At the top of the conference each year, and I think those goals are good to have. It keeps us going, but again, just really lucky to be surrounded by such great people. But it's not always easy, but it's definitely worth it.
Okay. Well, speaking of not easy, I got a tough question for you submitted because once I announced I was going to be meeting with all the coaches, there's a lot of smart volleyball people that follow this show already. So here's the tough one for you right away. After losing the Defensive Player of the Year, how comfortable are you with your serve receive so far? Are you seeing enough quality first contacts to stay in system and consistently give Avery two or three attacking options? I don't know what that means, but what are your thoughts
Yeah.
on that, coach?
I mean, it is a good question. It's also a very pointed question. Obviously Cameron was great for us, and I don't think you just replace Cameron, and I think we've had that conversation probably over the years with other great players that we've had along the way. But I really like our defensive group right now. We've got three that are healthy, that are competing every day right now, and all three of them have done a fantastic job of getting better, from last year into this year. So we feel really good, especially on the defensive end. But even serve receive, we had our first exhibition match against Creighton, and Creighton is a historically very good serving team, and felt like we did a good job of giving Avery the opportunities to set with range. And obviously, I think there's multiple people involved in that. The height of the pass makes a really big difference. Giving her the ability to get under the ball. But then I think on the flip side, Avery's doing a really good job of being able to get her feet there very efficiently and set with range, even on maybe what people would consider maybe a two pass, or even a one pass at times. Her quickness, her athleticism is giving her the ability to make the pass even better. So, the duo there, I think, is in a really good spot. And, with everything, serve and pass, that just gets better as the year goes on. Just the amount of reps that we get, the amount of time that we're spending in the gym, getting better in that area is going to continue to put us in a better situation. So obviously playing other people is going to be important because we're so used to our own servers, our own, the nuances and tendencies in our own gym. So it'll be good to be able to continue to see other people. But I do feel really confident in that group right now and what we're going to be able to accomplish.
You mentioned the Creighton exhibition over the weekend. You did take a set there. They're projected to be a top 15 team in the country. What was your overall takeaway from that? And are you coming out of there healthy?
Yeah, I mean, I love where we're at. You never know how things are going to transition into, again, playing somebody else. So felt like we could challenge ourselves right away with a team like Creighton's. Obviously, an easy drive for us. We made it a day trip, but I walked away very optimistic just in what this group can do, and did some different lineups, put some people in some different spots, limited some people just to make sure that we could continue to remain healthy. But I do think we're in a really good spot. A couple of takeaways: our defense is really strong. We have the ability to keep the ball alive at a very high level, and I think it's something we've been good at in the past. And I think right now, just our entire team is involved in that. Cameron's obviously in the past had done a fantastic job for us on the defensive end, and we still had some really good pieces, but just everybody is older. Everybody understands the game a little bit more. So that defensive side was an area, both blocking and in the backcourt, that I was really impressed with. The other part that I takeaway was we were fearless. We took some really big swings against a very big Creighton team. They're long, they take up a lot of space, they are a good blocking team. And I think we had some more errors along the way because of it. But at the same time, I loved that we were fearless. I love that we didn't back off. I think we got better through it. So, again, the takeaways is this team can be really good. I'm excited to see what they're going to be able to accomplish. And obviously, it's going to be a process. And we definitely challenged ourselves in the preseason with our schedule. But that first exhibition set us up for, I think, a really good week of practice again. And we had a small ankle injury. Anybody who is following along on Twitter, I think somebody had put that on there. Amanda rolled her ankle, but she's already doing much better. And, she probably won't see her this weekend. We'll limit her there, but hoping to have her back by next weekend.
Okay, very nice. Next one's a softball question. I did have some help on this one. This one is courtesy of a Michael R. in Vermillion. You've accomplished a lot of things athletically. You've been a good player, obviously had success as a coach. So where does winning the Bluffs Classic this year rank on that list for you?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know if I love that question. It was obviously a great weekend. It was a lot of fun. Golfed with some good friends. Golf is something I picked up when I got to Vermillion, so it's kind of been a grind. But it was a really fun weekend, hot weekend. Anybody who was following along, that was the day that I think we were second in the country with like the hottest temperatures. So it was a rough stretch. I had a fan on me at all times, but it was a lot of fun. Not sure I would put that up there with some of these obviously career accomplishments, but it was a lot of fun.
Okay, I did not expect to see that you were winning golf tournaments. That I did not have that on my bingo card, so I got a kick out of that assist there from Michael R. in Vermillion, who, by the way, I think might be the same guy that's been on your staff forever. Is that correct?
Yeah, it could be. It could certainly be.
Okay. So talk to me about you have 5 award winners returning, and you only lose one player, 98% of your points returning. Talk to me about how maybe this offseason has been different. I think the average team in the Summit, when you exclude South Dakota State, lost 7.85 players last year. You only lose one. How different is it as a coach to basically have most of your team returning this year? You're only having to implement 2 new players into your system.
Very different. We've talked about it a lot as a staff, and I think the other caveat to that is with the 2 new people, one of them did graduate early and came in the spring. So in the off season, we were able to play a lot. We were able to compete at a really high level in our gym. Every day. And a lot of times in those off seasons, you're not always able to play sixes just based on the amount of numbers that you have, or you've got coaches stepping in to play, which isn't a bad thing, but it's just not quite the same as, obviously our current team. So we were able to compete a lot. We were able to play in tournaments in the off season and get a lot of different looks, give people a lot of playing time, which was really, really good to see. And then even the fall season, Chloe moved in June and worked with our team all summer and did some things with them. So even with her, almost everybody was a returner at that point. Chloe was the one person that was learning drills for the first time, learning kind of how we talk about things, our verbiage. And it felt different in the preseason. It just felt like more like we were in mid-season stride, just because we didn't have to break it down quite so much. So we've been able to hit the ground running. I feel like we're in a really good spot, but finding ways to continue to get better is, I don't want to say it's a challenge, but it's that reminder of, hey, even though we've got all this returning, there's still a lot that we can get better at. There's still a lot of things that we need to continue to improve on. And even though we have a lot of returners, people are different. People have grown, people have changed. Some people not necessarily change positions, but maybe we find that they have a strength in a certain area. And it's our job, obviously, to continue to push the limit there and make sure that we don't get complacent. But the other difference right now is we're old. the last couple of years, anybody who listened to me talk probably talked or heard me say that we were pretty young. We had a lot of freshmen, we had a lot of sophomores, we had a couple upperclassmen, sprinkled in there, but we did have a lot of people that didn't have that experience. And now I think it's the opposite. We have a lot of experience. We have a mature team. We have a team that can handle things differently than in the past. So we're trying to lean into that, really trying to kind of figure out how can we utilize that to our advantage. But it definitely was a different preseason just having so many people return.
Okay, probably a peaceful one for you too at times,
At
not having to
times.
worry about how things were going to fit together. Just how good is Lauren Medic?
I mean, she's great, and I think she's one that just expects so much out of herself and really continues to push herself to get better every single day. And she was doing so many great things last year, especially right before she got hurt, where she, with her ankle, where it took her out for about 3 to 4 weeks. So, I think she's back to that form. I mean, she's definitely playing like herself right now. But the thing is a lot of people see the kills or the offensive side of things, but she's just so good all around. Her passing, her defense, her ability to take up space on the block, and I think that's what makes her so good. Is she is not one dimensional. She impacts the game in so many different ways, and obviously really happy to have her a part of this program. Happy to have her healthy, but she is one that I'm really excited to see what she's able to accomplish this year, both for herself and then what she can do to help the team accomplish some pretty lofty goals, because she has the experience and she has a great mindset, and she's an extremely competitive person. And I think people are going to really enjoy watching her play this fall.
So when you compare spring to fall, who maybe on your roster maybe made the biggest step forward, or who's maybe impressed you the most on their progress over the last 6 months?
Oh, that's a tough question because I would throw in so many people. I really do feel like we made some, great strides across the board, whether it's offensively, whether it's blocking wise. I don't know if I would necessarily call out certain people, just because, again, I see so much growth in so many of our players. And maybe that's the easy way out. Maybe that's a cop out, but I really am just so excited about so many of our players right now. But the area that I am really really happy with is our defensive group. That group in the off season, all four of them, Sam and Sierra and Catherine and Cora. Again, three of the four of them are playing right now, but we are playing some very high level volleyball on the defensive end, and you just never know how it's going to transition into an opponent, and it transitioned seamlessly, on Sunday. So something that I hope continues, but and not that we were poor in that area last year. I think we did a great job of that last year, but they're just at a different level right now, and it's really fun to see. They're pushing each other, they're supporting each other, and honestly, they're bringing the team along with them. You see that transfer into other players as well. So I would say the defensive group is the group that I'm really excited to see what they're going to be able to accomplish this year. And I think all three of them are good enough to be on the court, and it's our job to kind of figure out how do we manage that, obviously the best way we can, with the rest of the group that is also playing very, very high level volleyball. So, and then I think, the other person that kind of maybe the one person I'd maybe throw in there that just gets under the radar a little bit is our middle group. I think that they've had success. They were obviously recognized still last year, but their ability right now to follow a game plan and to score points, they've just continued to kind of chip away themselves, and really happy with that group as well and the strides that they've taken.
And I know a lot of programs talk about culture, but just following your social media, it looks like the culture there must be fabulous.
Yeah, I mean, I think number one, you look at last year to this year, you mentioned it right away, of just the fact that we had, pretty much everybody returning except for Cameron, and not one person went in the transfer portal. We had our entire team come back, and we had our entire team come back when there were people that weren't playing, that were good enough to play, and I think that says something, that the entire group, stuck around and wants to see this through and wants to continue to push each other and support each other. But they really are. They're good people. They work hard, they have fun, they support each other, they have great relationships, both on and off the court. And, we always say it's yes, the wins and the losses are fun, but the stuff along the way is what makes it great. The like we're excited for the bus trips and the different game day routines that they have, and getting to know them, outside of the gym. But they're committed, and they truly want what's best for this program, and really couldn't ask for much more than that out of this group and the program as a whole.
Going to put you on the spot with one more name. We don't see a ton of top 100 recruits coming to the Summit. So what can we expect out of Gabby this year?
Yeah, I mean, Gabby's done a great job of transitioning into the college game. I think that spring season was really important for her, just in terms of getting used to our pace, our tempo, our verbiage, the way we play defense. And, we tend to lean towards being a very disciplined team. And, not that she wasn't, but they're just things that we do differently that we expect her to be able to do more consistently. So I think that spring season was huge for her. And now you see her really taking off this fall. So she has a heavy arm. She hits the ball hard. She has no lack of confidence in it. I mean, she swings for the fences, and it's been a lot of fun to coach her. She's a sponge. I mean, she wants to be really good. So I think people are going to enjoy watching her play. I don't know what that looks like yet. We've got another week to figure all of that out before going into that first match. But I will say she's making her gym better every day, and obviously excited that she is here, and excited that she's a Coyote, and excited to see what she's going to be able to accomplish both this year and moving forward. But she is just her competitiveness, but also her willingness to learn and take in information is special.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this question since you're the all-time wins leader in this conference. When I've spoke to about 3-4 people that are coming in from the outside, they have consistently made a comment that just made me think they say something like there's something special about the Summit. You've been in this league a long time. What makes the Summit League so special from a volleyball standpoint?
Well, I mean, I think number one, it's challenging. I think each night you have to show up. Each night you have to give everything you've got. And, I think we even learned that the hard way a little bit last year, and, had a loss or two that we felt like we shouldn't have had. And I think number one, that's a part of it is you've got teams that very much believe that they can be at the top and they can beat anybody. And that alone makes the Summit League tough. I think the other part is there's some ebbs and flows to it. The teams that have primarily been at the top haven't always been there, and the teams that have been at the bottom have maybe started to make their strides or had years where they've chipped away and found ways to be in that top half. So you see kind of the ebbs and flows of the programs and the ebbs and flows of the competition, but it's a good league. It's a good high level volleyball league. And, we may not always be the biggest, comparatively to some other conferences around us, but I think we play the game well. And I think the coaches do a really good job of scheming and putting their teams in a position to have success. So, I think there's some good rivalries in there too. I think that's the other part is, we've had a couple teams obviously come and go, but there's been a lot of staples at this point in time. And with that, you've got really good rivalry matchups, and that is fun. That is a part of sport that I love. And it's a part of the Summit League that I really enjoy being a part of because they are there and they are strong. And, there's definitely teams that that our team is a little bit more hyped up for whatever reason. Maybe I don't know all the behind the scenes stuff, but I think that makes the league fun. And we always say, sports wouldn't be fun if you always knew who was going to win. And I think that definitely rings true in the Summit League.
Well, speaking of rivals, I can't wait to go down to Vermillion. I'm going to be there for the league opener when you host South Dakota State. I'm guessing they'd be in that rival category for you.
They sure would. Yeah, they sure would. And, I think when I first got here, I didn't think I fully understood the rivalry, but now, 17 years later, I get it. It's there. It runs deep. And what a great, obviously, first match in the Summit League. I mean, you couldn't ask for maybe a better showcase there. So looking forward to that one, obviously, but got a lot of weeks between now and then. So looking forward to getting better here these next few weeks in the non-conference play.
Yeah, looking at that non-conference real quick, just a couple more questions for you. You did not schedule easy, that's for sure. You open up in Des Moines, you face a top 100 team in Drake every year. Later, you get Northern Iowa, who's a powerhouse in the Valley year in, year out. To wrap it up, I get to see you in Sioux Falls against a couple Big Ten teams in Minnesota and Washington. Just comment on your non-conference schedule and the philosophy that went into it.
Well, I think we've always scheduled pretty difficult. We've always felt like you got to play really good teams to figure out what you are good at, but also what you're not good at. And that's going to prepare you the best going into conference play. And we feel like we could probably go out and put a schedule together that we knew we were going to win every match, but that's not what we want. We want to continue to challenge ourselves. And this year was no different. And we actually told our team, on day one, like we scheduled difficult, but they earned it. They deserve that schedule because of what they've accomplished so far and what we believe they can accomplish this year. So we did purposely set it up difficult. We definitely challenged ourselves, and we're obviously going into every single match knowing and feeling that we can win those opportunities. But we also know that if we were to take some losses along the way, we're going to be a better team because of it. So really looking forward to those the challenges, really looking forward to, some of obviously the different tournaments that we're playing in both home and away. Excited to go up to Sioux Falls and play at the Pentagon and be able to get in front of a different group as well. But this team's in a good spot. And like I said, we felt like they deserved a really challenging schedule that was going to prepare us the best that we could for not only the conference play, but then hopefully postseason play as well.
Very nice, Coach. Last question here for you. And this one you may not be able to answer on the spot, but you're going to be on the Howling Podcast Sunday night live at 9 p.m. Central. I have another 10 questions I'll submit in the chat probably. But if you had to pick one of the hosts, Mark, Jordan, Chad, to serve to zone one and get the ball in, which one of those three would you pick to do it for you?
Oh, that's a great question. I think I'd pick all three so that our odds were better of getting it there.
Okay, there we go. But they say there's 450 square feet. It can't be that. But I guess a zone. I'm saying they have to serve to a particular zone, so they don't have that
Yeah,
much room. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know if I can answer that. I don't know if I've ever seen any of them actually hit a volleyball, so I'm not sure that I know. I'd have to do some scouting, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Next year maybe for the exhibition match. I mean, it's probably too late to have it happen this weekend against Augustana, but think about that one because my money I think would be on Mark, but we'll see how they respond Sunday night
Okay.
potentially to that question.
Sounds great.
Hey, Leanne, thank you very much. Obviously, for Coyote fans, there is a ton to be excited about. Consistent winning in Vermillion, loaded this year, 98% of the points returning from a season ago. It's going to be a fantastic season. Thank you for joining me. And folks, until we meet again, volleyball season is right around the corner. We play for real a week from today when South Dakota goes on the road to take on Drake in Des Moines. Until we meet again, thank you for joining.